Holiday Classic. And we are joined by Coach James Hare going into the final game. They're going to play Nelson County tonight. James, first interview for us for the season. You got a very young team so far. Tell me about your young Panther team.
I'll tell you, it's probably the youngest team I've had in 30 years. We're starting 2 sophomores and a freshman normally, and I usually come off the bench with a couple of sophomores, a senior. It's a young team. The learning curve is really huge. But they're a good group to work with.
From a coach's perspective, have they played up to the level that you anticipated when the season started?
I tell you, in certain moments of the game, they're playing much better than I thought. And then there's other moments they play just like freshmen and sophomores, But I can't question their effort. Their effort's good every night. They listen. They work hard. So, those are the things right there that I'm most proud of.
This is a holiday tournament. This is the second in the row for the Elizabethtown Panthers, and you fared pretty well in both of them, at Central Hardin and here at Nelson County, and you play the home team tonight in the second game. What do you gain from playing in these holiday tournaments?
You play a bunch of games in a row. That's what you do in tournament play, and that's what we do in district, region, and state. You play a bunch of games in a row, and that's what we want to do. These guys they've been in every ball game they've been in. I think the largest margin we've been beat by is 6, so we've had a chance to win every game, and that's what you want to do. You want to compete every night.
James, with 3 seniors in the starting lineup, it's a very young team, and we've talked about that before. I'm sure at times this season they've probably tested your patience quite a bit.
Well, that's every team. Kids are kids. I know they don't go out and purposely make mistakes or purposely miss assignments, but that happens. And, coaches, we remind them, sometimes forcefully, about where they need to be, what they need to be doing, what they need to be thinking of. Kids are different. Kids have so many things to think of. The word computer never came into my vocabulary when I was in high school, or texting or internet. Didn't have any of those things. We might have had a pinball machine, and that's it. But now the technology is so vast, and they have so many different interests, and it's kind of hard to focus sometimes for them.
Tuesday night, I guess, is what you would call where the real season begins. You've already had one district game under your belt. That was a win against Central Hardin. And that was a little over a week ago. But now, through the Christmas holidays, you go into district play against Fort Knox. Looking at this year's district team, how do you think your team will match up in our district?
I'll tell you, right now, it does seem like there's been a lot of mix-up with teams. Some teams seem like they're kind of unraveling. There's been certain situations that happen on certain teams that cause their chemistry to go down a little bit. But we've been intact. I think our chances in the district are good. But then again, I think this district is well balanced, and I do think that North and John, as far as athleticism, might have a little bit more than most. You have Central Hardin, whose 3-point shooting could be very dangerous on certain nights. In Fort Knox, I don't know much about them, but they are very athletic. So, I feel like we're in the hunt.
James, thank you so much, and good luck tonight.
All right, thank you.
We'll be back in just a moment, right here on KSBN. Well, this is our first broadcast, and so happy to be here. And as we get ready to start this game, let's go over a couple of things. Our officials for tonight's ball game are Jeff Watson, Willie Tennant, and Mike Holt. I'm Gary Franklin, along with Steve Ballard. And this is the last game of this tournament. Elizabethtown's done fairly well. They have had a good showing. They dropped one the other night to Collins High School, but last night they won against Spencer County, and this is one of many holiday tournaments.
Yeah, Gary, they had a very tough game against Collins. It came down to the last minute, and they lost a close one. And then Etown really poured it on Spencer County in the second game.
Etown comes in with a record of 6-4 on the season, and Nelson County not so great at 3-8. They come out of the 19th District, Region 5. And as we get this game started, Etown will pick it up first. Bird throws it down in the corner to McDonald, and the guards start putting their hands on the ball right away. The big center, Nejdawi, takes it from the top.
Nelson starts out in a man-to-man. I think they're going to try to take it down low to Nejdawi as much as they can.
I'd like to see him go down on the block a lot more tonight than he has in the last 2 games. Kicked off, the shot was no good. Tapped out of bounds. It's going to stay with Elizabethtown.
A lob, Nejdawi wasn't ready for it, and they lost it.
There was the opportunity to get it down low to the big man. Nelson County will take their shot. First shot on offense. Not a young team, as Nelson County has 5 seniors and 5 juniors on this squad.
Etown in the man-to-man as well.
Dustin Morris dumps it on down, and it kicks off the back iron. And here's the Panthers running. And Flood puts it up, and it comes off and tapped out of bounds. It is going to stay with the Panthers, though. Down to Nejdawi, and he puts it in. Flood looked at the three-pointer.
He did.
He can shoot the three-pointer. But as you said, the game plan is going to be put it down in low to the big man.
Yeah. I think if they do that, they'll be pretty successful at that.
Land has it. Down towards the basket. Put in and a foul. So quickly, Nelson County comes back down, and Austin Willett will go the foul line to try to make it the old-fashioned three-point play. Foul's going to be on Etown. Number 2, Nick McDonald, his first. And Willett makes it 3-2 Nelson County. Here's Flood. Drives it to the basket. And they're going to call a player control foul. That's going to be the first on Jansen Flood. Actually, correction, that's on Todd Lucas.
Oh, wow. I didn't see that one.
That's the first on Lucas. And now Etown is going to put some pressure on Nelson County. Nelson drives and lays it in. That's number 2, Cameron Morganson. So they beat the press, took it down and laid it in, and here's McDonald going the other way. Correction, Bryce Bird going the other way.
Yeah, you know, Gary, on the full court press, that's what can happen if you don't put it on right. You can get burnt for the layup. You've really got to hustle back if you get beat.
And they got burned. I mean, they weren't prepared when it broke half court. That's when he was able just to drive the basket from there.
Right.
At the line for the Panthers, number 4, Bryce Bird. Cannot make that second one. And here's Nelson County. Morganson. Over to Willett. And Willett puts it in, a little 10-footer. Quickly down court, and Jansen Flood brings the Panthers back. And here's Nelson County beating the pressure and driving all the way down again. And an easy 10-footer for...
Again, the weak side didn't help out on the press, didn't get back, and they got the easy shot.
And we've got another foul on the Panthers. Player control foul, and that's going to be on Nick McDonald, his first. Got a whistle, and I believe we got a 5-second call.
10 seconds, I believe.
10-second call against Nelson County, so it's going to be Panther basketball. 4:57 left to go in this first quarter of action. Here's Flood. Over to Lucas. And they try to go down low to Nejdow, and it's knocked away by Land.
He hesitated on that pass, and they read him like a book.
Here's Land with the basketball. Back over to Morrison, back down to Land. And he puts it in on a foul. Foul's going to be on Todd Lucas. That's his second. Checking into the ball game for the Panthers, as Todd's going to have to take a seat, is Alec Thompson.
Alec had a good game yesterday.
Here's Flood, fakes that three-pointer, and he has taken many of those threes and can make that three. Back and forth to Nick McDonald, and here's a free throw line shot for Flood, and it bounces in.
And Nejdow set a great pick, and it left Jansen wide open.
4 minutes left to go in this first quarter of action. It's Nelson County over the Panthers, 12-6. And here's a steal by Thompson. Ball is scrambled on the floor. Cotton into the ball game for the Panthers, goes down on the floor. And Nelson County will wind up with it. 3:38 left to go in the first quarter. Nelson leads at 12-6 over the Elizabethtown Panthers. Here's Land, down low, puts it up and off the back glass and in for two. Here comes Flood for the Panthers. Over to Cotton in the corner. Now McDonald will set up the offense at the top of the key. Flood back out to Nejdow. Now back to top. They'll run it again. Here's Thompson wide open for a three off the back iron. Flood gathers up the rebound, and they'll start the offense over.
Oh.
Stolen away by Nelson County, but I liked what they were trying to do. A little backdoor cut with Thompson going to the basket. Nelson County. And blocked by Nejdow.
You know, that's
so Willett tried to make the shot, blocked by the big man.
That's what Nejdow's got to do. He's got to hold his ground because he's getting pushed by the bigger senior. But if he'll hold his ground, I think he can, and keep his arms up, he can dissuade those shots.
Well, that foul's going to be on Jansen Flood, and that's his first. So that's going to be 5 team fouls on the Panthers as Nelson County is back to the line again. So 24 for Nelson County. Austin Willett cannot make the first one. Back up to try his luck on the second one. Etown goes into district play next week, and that's when the real season starts next week. Here's Thompson bringing it up court for the Panthers. Back over to McDonald. Foul's going to be on the floor. The foul's on 32, Bradley Gerard. Here's a long three-pointer by Cotton, and it's good. Javon Cotton with the first three-pointer of the ball game for the Panthers. Cuts the lead to 15-9. 2 minutes left to go in the first quarter of action.
You know, Cotton's a transfer player in, and he has really sparked the Panthers this year. He comes in off the bench, and he can nail that three. He's a good driver.
Here's a steal by McDonald. Down the court, lays it up and in. Panthers slowly starting to chip away at this Nelson County lead. They started out hot in the ball game, had some confidence, but the Panthers starting to put some defensive pressure on them. Here's Land, back over to Willett. Over to Morris. And there's a nice-looking shot by Morris of Nelson County.
That was a nice shot. He had defense on him.
Here's Arnie, turnaround, and he's going to be fouled, and I bet you it is on 45, John Land, the center. That's going to be his first. So the first we've seen of Dominic Harding in this ball game at the foul line. Makes his first. Harding has been sharing quite a bit of time on the court with Nash Dowie. They seem to be interchangeable, and you see basically the same game, Steve.
Right. They're both young, but they're both learning the game, and you can see improvement in both of them every game.
Harding's second shot kicked off the back iron, so it's going to be Nelson County basketball on the rebound. Got another foul on the Panthers. This one's going to be against Javon Cotton. That's Cotton's first foul of the ball game. Of course, he's only been in less than a minute, so not a good sign for the Panthers. Cotton has had a 20-point game in this season so far.
And that's 6 fouls on the Panthers, so Nelson will be going to the line next time, the bonus.
Nelson County going down low, and it was kicked out of bounds. Tipped by a Panther and tipped off the fingertips of number 25, Trey White. 51 seconds left to go in this first quarter. 17-12, Nelson County leads it over the Panthers. Here's Bird, or Cotton rather, drives it down to the 10-foot range.
Josh Williams.
And a long two-pointer by Josh Williams kicks off the back iron. Ball's tapped out of bounds. It's going to remain with Elizabethtown. They throw it up for Harding, and he's fouled. Oh, they're going to get 45 on that. That's John Land, their center. That's 2 fouls on the big man. I could have swore that foul was going to go against number 10, Ryan Bell.
Yeah, that's going to hurt Nelson County.
It's a size issue. You can't coach size.
That's correct.
Here's Harding for his second one, and he's got it. 31 seconds left to go in the first quarter. The Panthers have cut Nelson County lead to 17-4. Tapped out of bounds and touched last by the Panthers. Nelson County does get it in. And 25, Trey White, a nice little turnaround under the basket. 19-14 Nelson County, and it's tapped out of bounds again. It will remain with the Panthers. Alec Thompson will inbound it. Gets it into Williams, and now back out to Dick McDonald. McDonald working and takes it all the way to the basket and lays it in. And that will do it for the first quarter of action, with the homestanding Nelson County Cardinals leading it over the Elizabethtown Panthers 19-16. We'll be back after this. All right, we're back with you, and our score to start the second quarter, Nelson County 19, Elizabethtown 16. Steve, what does Etown need to do?
Well, they started out down 4 to 6 points, and they've clawed back in this, but they've tried to press. They're getting burnt on the press. They've got to get back quicker. And I think with the Nelson County big man out, because he hurt them quite a bit at first, they've just got to put a few more points on the board and hold their own on defense, and they'll be all right.
Looks like Willett has taken Land's place in as the center for the team now for Nelson County. Here's Morganson, the starting guard. Kicks it back out to White. Back over to Bell.
For some reason, Dominic's guarding that guard out there, and he just went right around him. But nobody helped out.
Well, Morganson makes a nice shot. Here it is out to Thompson. Now back to Williams, and now down low to Dominic. And Harding cannot make that shot. But Williams comes out with it. So Josh Williams saves the Panthers that time. Panthers down in this ball game 21-16 as we just start the second quarter. Here's Williams, back to McDonald, and now back to Williams. Three-pointer was on the way, kicked off the back iron. Another three-pointer, that time by Cotton.
The Panthers can't seem to buy a basket right now.
And Morganson will slow it down. Inside, Austin Willett makes a nice turnaround against Harding. So they haven't lost much with Land going out, Willett taking his place down low.
No, they haven't.
Here's McDonald driving to the right-hand side. Kicks it way over to Thompson. Back out to Williams. Here's Harding with an open 10-footer and got it. Pretty shot for Dominic Harding.
He's going to have to do that if they want to get back in this.
Nelson County drives it all the way back down the basket again. And they're going to get, looks like Javon Cotton on the foul.
Well, sure looked like he had position there, Gary. I'm not sure.
So Cotton's got 2 fouls on him. And it's going to send Cameron Morganson to the line. 5:43 left to go in the first half. 23-18. Nelson County leads it over the Panthers. Morganson's first shot. Checking back into the ball game for Etown is Nej Dowie. And Jansen Flood's into the ball game for the Panthers as well. All right, Bryce Bird's in the ball game for the Panthers now at the other guard spot. And Bird will set it up top. And that's where the offense runs from. Down low to Nej Dowie. He's got it and lays it in.
Work it inside and they'll get some points. Yeah, they got the press back on. Let's see how they handle them.
Here's Morganson. Correction, Ryan Bell. Bringing it up court for Nelson County.
There you go. You know,
it's going to be touched last by Trey White of Nelson County. It'd be Panther basketball.
Gary, a press is not designed necessarily to steal it every time, but if you can make the other team get hurried or rush when they get down on the other end, you're just as effective. And that time they made an errant pass in Etown basketball.
And they need to do that the rest of the ball game because Nelson County has used that to their advantage. Here's a long three-pointer by Flood. Kicks off the side of the rim. And the rebound's going to be for Nelson County. Bell has it. And here's a long three-pointer for Nelson County. Can't make it. That time White had the rebound and it kicked off, and we've got a foul on the Panthers. Let me check that to see who this is going to be on. This is going to be on number 30, Zane Nej Dowie. That's his first. And James Hare is none too happy about the call. And he's letting Willie Tennant know about it. Here's a foul shot, no good. And Etown comes up with a rebound. Here's Lucas. Gets it over to Bird, and the Panthers are running. Numbers didn't add up, so Bird stops right at the top of the key. Over to McDonald. It's a long three-pointer by McDonald, and that's good. And we've got a foul on the play. So the three-pointer is made, and we've got a foul on Nelson County. That's going to be on Trey White of Nelson County, and that cuts the lead to 2, Steve. And is that the closest they've been since the game started?
I think so, Gary. That's going to be a big turnaround here. You got the 3 and the ball back.
25-23. Nelson County leads it over the Panthers. Panthers are going to try to tie it right here. Here's Flood. Over to Bird. Down in the middle of the lane for Flood, and can't hit the little turnaround shot.
They worked the ball around real nice and got the right shot. Just didn't fall for him.
And we've got a traveling call on Nelson County.
It's a good thing he walked, because I think Nash Dowie would have had another foul if he hadn't.
That was Austin Willett with steps. 3:41 left to go in the second quarter. The Panthers have an opportunity to tie it up again, or take the lead on three-pointer. It went into Nash Dowie. He was not able to get it, so Todd Lucas came up with the errant pass and lays it in, and the Panthers have tied it for the first time in this ball game. And we've got a timeout going over to Nelson County. 3:18 left to go in the second period. It's Nelson County 25 and the Elizabethtown Panthers 25. We'll be back after this. And we're back to the action. The visiting Elizabethtown Panthers here at the Nelson County Holiday Classic are facing the home team. 3:17 left to go in the second quarter. 25-25 tie, and a long alley-oop play that time. They tried to get it to White. He couldn't handle it. Running are the Panthers. Flood takes it all the way to the basket, and it's fouled.
Well, I'm really surprised they tried that. They threw it from half court. It was all kinds of time for Etown to read that, but they had their chance to score. Just didn't go.
Looked more like Ben Roethlisberger. It was a long pass.
Yeah.
Here's Flood. First shot is no good. He'll step in for the second. Checking in the ball game for Nelson County is number 10, Ryan Bell. Flood steps up for his second. And now the Panthers take their first lead of the night. Morganson over to Bell. And steps called. So things are starting to fall apart for Nelson County here. After a great start in the first quarter, they haven't been able to do anything right the last 8 minutes.
Right. Good pressure by Etown there on the half-court track.
Here's McDonald. Back over to Bird. He's going to take a long three-pointer. Kicks off the back iron. No good. Scramble for it, and Bird comes up with it. Can't make the shot.
He forced that one. I think he thought he had it, and at the last second, he had D right in his face.
Here's Morganson.
Well, the big boy's
That's a
back.
sweet play right there. Here are the Panthers. Long three-pointer by Flood is no good.
Well, I tell you, the Panthers are good.
And another long three-pointer by Flood's no good. Najdawi had his hand on it, couldn't handle it. Here's Bird. They're leaving him open. Todd Lucas now over to McDonald. He can't make the open shot, but Flood's in there and he gets fouled.
Gary, they're leaving them wide open. They're getting all the shots, and Etown's just not hitting anything.
They have missed a ton of wide open shots. That's going to be against Austin Willett, number 24, his first.
Got to hit those.
You know, Etown has come out. They've had some periods where they've gotten the ball down low. They've scored. Have not hit many on the outside.
You got to find that one guy that can hit. It doesn't seem like anybody's doing it right now.
Here's Flood makes his second. 1:45 left to go in the second quarter. It is a tie ball game, 27 all. Here's Morganson for Nelson County. And once again, a traveling call is going to go against Nelson County. And it's going to be Panther basketball. Here's Bird.
They're getting their chances. They just got to capitalize.
James Hare instructs his team to drive it. Now they kick it out to Todd Lucas. He can't make the shot. Tapped up and in. I believe that was Nick McDonald, wasn't it?
That looked more like a slap than a tip and went in.
Clearly a design play. Nelson County loses possession. The Etown Panthers are 4-on-1 and Flood takes it in. What a play. And Etown all of a sudden has jumped out to a 31-27 lead with 1 minute left to go in the ball game. Actually, 53.9 seconds left to go in the ball game. We've got a timeout. Let's keep it right here and let's talk about recapping this ball game so far. Nelson County came out of the gate. They looked very good. They looked like they were going to just blow Etown off the court as it first started, but a lot of times that happens in play, in high school play especially. A team comes in with a lot of confidence, and all of a sudden the defense kind of clamped down.
Yep, the big guy was hurting them at first, and it looks like they're not even getting it into the big guy now. Their half-court pressure is keeping it outside, and they've turned it over 2 or 3 times and got a couple fast breaks, and Etown's back in this game.
Well, 45, John Lamb started at center, got a quick 2 fouls and was out of the ball game. Here's Nelson County. Less than a minute to play in the first half. Here's Land, takes it all the way down and scores. Austin Willett, number 24 for Nelson County. Panthers hopefully will hold it for the last shot here. Here's Bird back over to McDonald. They're looking inside. Had Dominique Harding come up to the foul line, now go back to the baseline. Here's a long three-pointer by Flood. Kicks off, no good. Lucas has the rebound. Over to McDonald for a three, and he's got it. 3-point basket for Nick McDonald, and that will do it for the first half of action with our score. Etown has come roaring back, leading 34-29 over the Nelson County Cardinals. We'll be back after this. It's halftime, and we're back. This is Gary Franklin with Steve Ballard. This is KSBN, and this is our inaugural game. We're not going to do this live streaming, but we are going to tape delay this and put it on our website. So we're glad everybody could join. 34-29 is our halftime score. Nelson County leads it. Etown leads it over Nelson County. Steve, so far in this ball game, what has been your interpretation of what's happened in this game?
Well, I think what happened in the first quarter, Etown got beat down low by the big man, Naj Dowie. He's young. He's just a freshman. He got pushed around a little bit, and they took advantage of him. Then Etown even though they were putting on the press, they were getting burnt a couple times. Well, James, I noticed, changed it up to the half-court trap, put some pressure on them. The guys got a lot more aggressive, and even though they haven't been hitting their outside shots, they've been taking it down low some and clawed back into this game and have got a 5-point lead here at halftime.
Nick McDonald leads the Panthers with 12 points, followed by Jansen Flood with 8 points, and the scoring's been pretty thin. I'll go ahead and round it out for you. 3 points for Jawan Cotton, 2 points for Todd Lucas, 5 in the ball game for Dominique Harding, and 4 points for Zane Najdawi. The Panthers have been just atrocious from the field tonight. I thought they missed tons of easy, wide-open shots.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's the hardest shot to hit. The Panthers shot 39% from the field, and that's, I'm sure James, with all those open shots, will say that's unacceptable. Here we go to start the second half, and Nelson County will have the basketball, trailing 34-29 to the Panthers, and a steal for the Panthers. Basket and a foul, so that's the way to start out the second half, Steve.
Yeah, Etown went into the man-to-man again, and Bryce was putting on the pressure on the point guard and picked his pocket and took it in for a layup and got fouled in the process.
Here's Bird at the foul line, can't make his shot. Tapped out of bounds, it's going to stay with the Panthers.
You know, Gary, they're not hitting their field goals, but they're also missing free throws, and those are gimmies. I know James is he's pulling his hair out when he sees that.
McDonald gets it in. Flood has it at the top. Here's Bird. Stepped up, looked like he was going to take it. Over to Flood, and he does take it. That's a three-pointer.
There we go.
And there it is. Maybe this will put them on a hot streak in the second half. Trapped by the Panthers, and it brings a quick timeout from Nelson County. Nelson trails it now as the Panthers lead it 39-29. We'll be back after this. Out of the timeout, Nelson County will have it. Down on the baseline to Land, he lays it in. So there is Land, number 45, and he was a savior for them in the first quarter. Let's see if he can pick up those ways in the second half. Here's Bird, top of the key. Out to Flood, wide open. No good, kicks off the iron. Williams had it, puts it up, no good. That's going to be Nelson County basketball. You know, Josh Williams had a shot at that one.
Oh.
A block by Harding, and it's going to be blocked out of bounds, and they're going to say it's going to stay with Nelson County.
That was good pressure defense that time. They are trying to get Land open, that's for sure, and they do it.
Land tries it off the backboard, couldn't get it to go in. Harding comes up with it. And Dominic Harding got away with one right there. He had both elbows up, and he didn't swing the elbow, but he had the elbow up and he made contact.
Yeah. He had the ball laying right there for Land to grab, and luckily the ref called a foul. I thought he had a jump ball myself.
Land got his third foul, and here's Harding from the foul line. Can't make it, but Flood follows up, and he's fouled.
That's what they need. They need aggressiveness on the boards. If they're going to miss shots, they're going to try to go for the second shots, pick up anything they can. Let's hope they can hit these free throws.
Here's the senior, number 3, Flood at the line. Can't make it. Flood will get a second one. Checking into the ball game for the Panthers. Here's number 10, Javon Cotton. Takes Josh Williams' place. Flood makes his second, so that's going to be a 9-point lead for the Panthers now. 40-31 with 6:15 left to go in the third quarter. Here's Morganson. Kicks it in on the little turnaround for Austin Willett.
I think he's their leading scorer at this time, too, Gary.
Here's McDonald out to Bird. Wide open, no good. And it's going to be a rebound foul on the Panthers. I saw the referee hold up a 0, but I'm not sure who they called that on. Is that going to be on Harding? So that's going to be Harding's first. He comes out of the ball game. And Zane Nejdawi, big number 30, comes back in for the Panthers. Here's Land. Almost lost the ball.
Good pressure by Etown, and they're going to make them work for it.
Morris to Garage.
Good deny defense. They're not letting them get it inside.
Land comes up with it. Nejdawi gives fight. And Morganson comes up with an easy 8-footer over on the side.
Good pressure defense. Sometimes it just doesn't bounce the right way.
Wide open 3 for Flood. Can't make it. Rebound and a basket by Bird.
There's that second shot again. As long as they crash the boards and get the second shots.
Bird went high as a bird can go, and he got that rebound and was able to put it back in. I guess Bird goes probably, about 5'8", 5'9"?
No pun intended there.
No pun intended. And he was snatched it off the backboard and was able to lay it back in. Missed the free throw. 42-35. It's Etown leading it over Nelson County. 4:46 left to go in the third quarter.
You know, it looked like at the beginning of this quarter, I thought Etown was going to pull away. But Nelson County is scrapping and clawing, and they're not going to let them have it easy.
Here's a foul on the Panthers. And that's going to be on Javon Cotton. That's going to be Cotton's third. It's going to be Nelson County basketball.
Boy.
And they lob it in and had a really good shot at that. They lobbed it into White. And he went over McDonald and couldn't do anything with it. So here comes Etown, and McDonald taking it right back down the gullet.
He took it right to the hole and somehow put that in.
So McDonald goes to the line. Makes it 45-35. I think this is the largest lead. I think it got to 9 in the second quarter. Here's Land, the big guy, going to bring it up for Nelson County. Goes all the way, drives in, and he's going to be fouled by, I'll bet it's McDonald. Oh, they're going to call that on Cotton, number 10. That's going to be 4 fouls on Javon Cotton. Checking into the ball game for the Panthers after this shot by Land. Kicks off for Land, and I bet Williams is going to come in and take. Yeah, he's going to take Javon Cotton's spot. This has not been Javon's greatest night.
No, he got 2 fouls on him quick, and then here in the second half, he's got 2 more quick.
Land makes his second. Here's Bird over to Williams.
Nick wide open.
Touch last by the Panthers. Nick McDonald had 1 shot. He stuck 1 hand up, tipped it out of bounds. Here's Morganson, inbounds it. Land had it briefly. Now they got a wide open Willett.
Well,
can't make the shot. Panthers come up with it. Woo. Here's Lucas into the big man Nejdawi, and he traveled.
Right idea. he had the lay-in, but he just took an extra step there.
You know what? When you're wide open like that, you get the ball, all you can see is that great big goal. And
looks like a bushel basket.
Youth takes over right there.
Etown's looks like they got the full court man-to-man press on. Up with a little help from the big guy. Good hustle back. They didn't get burnt that time.
Nelson County Bell over to Morganson. Morganson drives in, a little free throw lane shot. Can't make it. Here's Williams for the Panthers. And now he lays it in.
Nice pass. Nice call.
He made up for the last one. Here's Bell for Nelson County. 3:13 left to go in the third quarter. 47-36. Etown leads it over Nelson County.
They got Najdawi guarding the guard. Of course, they're going to. Good weak side defense. Good help out.
Out of bounds touch last by Nelson County. It's going to be about Etown. It's going to be Nelson County basketball. Dominic Harding comes into the game for Najdawi. And Cameron Morganson could not get the ball in bounds, so it's going to be a timeout for Nelson County with 2:57 left to go in the third period. 47 Etown, 36 Nelson County. We'll be back after this. All right, as we come out of the timeout, Nelson County basketball. 47-36 Panthers lead it over Nelson with 2:50 left to go in the third. And here's Morganson. And once again, Nelson County had a wide open man, couldn't do anything with it. Here's McDonald for the Panthers. Williams thought about the long shot, drives it to the basket, and he's fouled. Now that's a play that will make James Hare very happy. He looked at the long shot. He was way out of his range, and he drove the basket.
Yeah, and I think what Josh did, he saw the guy running after him. He knew he'd have him off balance, so he just gave it a little shake and went right around him.
Williams at the line, makes his first. Substitution checking back into the ball game for Nelson County is 45, John Lamb. Also number 20, Dustin Morris. Misses a second. Here's Bell. Gets it across the timeline.
I love the intensity of Etown's defense right now. They are really giving a great effort. They're all hustling. They're all double teaming.
Going to be a 5-second. No, he got away with it.
Now you got to help out. The weak side has got to help out when you see that happening.
And he left it open. That's what happens. Austin Willett was able to put it in for Nelson County. It's a long three-pointer that time by Williams for the Panthers. 51-38. Panthers lead it over Nelson County. 1:45 left to go in the third. And Nelson County's got all kinds of trouble handling the basketball right now. Fouls on number 2, Nick McDonald. And you know, Nelson County shot themselves in the foot right there. And in fact, that's probably why Austin Willett's coming out of the basketball game. He had a wide open John Land standing under the basket. And there's Land making the basket right there.
Yep. You've got to keep those big boys out of the lane.
Had an illegal screen that time on Etown. Going to be Nelson County basketball as
they got the pressure on them. And they still.
And a steal.
I think the pressure is really getting to these Nelson County guards now.
Fouls on number 20, Dustin Morris for Nelson County.
You got Josh, Nick, and Bryce out there. And all three of them got quickness. And they're making those guards really work for it.
So Williams at the line, makes the basket. Now Williams is a player that I did not see a lot of in the first 7 or 8 games of the season. Is this something that James is doing now, that he's going to try him out and see if he can get him a little more playing time?
Josh has primarily played JV the first several games, and you know, he's a football player, so he's probably working into his basketball shape. He's a good hustler, and he's come along real quick.
There was a steal by Etown and a foul on Nelson County. Fouls on Cameron Mortensen of Nelson County, his second. It's going to send Bird of Etown to the line. 1:10 left to go in the third quarter of action. Etown is expanding their lead, 53-40 now.
I think this team's going to have to work on their free throws. They go into district play. They're going to be in some tight games. That could be the difference.
That foul's going to be on number 4, Vic McDonald. That's his second. 1 minute to go in the third. Here's Mortensen. Has done a fantastic job handling the point guard for Nelson County tonight. Here's Bell. Throws it all the way down and lays it in. So White had it open under the basket, puts it in. And here's Etown driving the other way and laid in by Bird.
That's what they can do. The guards can get out quick and they can drive. And Bryce and Nick both can do that. And they need to take advantage of that when they can.
Here's Bell. Mortensen has it, top of the key. Bird put fantastic defense on Mortensen that time.
Oh, wow.
Here's a wide open three-pointer, and they're going to call that when it touched. That's going to be the end of the third quarter with our score, 55 for Etown, 42 for Nelson County. We'll be back after this.
And
here's Morganson.
Got their own rebound.
Kicks off the front iron, and Nick McDonald has the rebound for the Panthers. They're running. Lucas at the top throws over to Flood. Now, Coach Ayers made some changes. It looks like because Bryce Bird's out of the ball game, they're bringing Todd Lucas back out to the top of the key.
He's on Nash Dowie.
And we've got a foul on the big man for Elizabethtown, Nash Dowie. That's his second.
I'm not sure what he did.
Last game for the Panthers in this tournament. Here's Morganson. Long three-pointer's no good. Rebound put back up and in by Willett.
You know, Etown went to a 2-3 zone there, and I think they were trying to just pack it in to keep them from getting the easy down low. But you've got a rebound.
3:17 left in the ball game. Here's Lucas.
Nice back door.
And a great backdoor pass down to McDonald.
That was pretty.
Steve, is that the senior seeing the open court right there and being able to find that player?
I think so. He recognized it, and they made eye contact. Nick broke back, and Todd saw it and got it to him, and that's what you got to do. I think it's going to, be very important that these seniors take some leadership role. You got a young team, and we've talked about this some before, but as the season goes along, these seniors really got to do a good job in bringing along the younger kids.
McDonald makes a pair. Here's Morganson for Nelson County. Here's Willett. Inside to Land. Turn around, but he walked before he got the shot off. And he made the shot. Nice turnaround jumper from about 10 feet. It's going to be Etown basketball. Nelson County's bringing pressure.
Yep. Let's see how Etown.
Lucas back out to McDonald.
It's important that Etown show some patience. As again, as I said, the press will make you rush things. If you don't have an easy layup, bring it back out. I mean, time is on our side. Run the clock out, and there you go.
Here's a foul on Nelson County, and you knew that had to come because they needed to be able to stop the clock. You can't just let Etown dribble the basketball or dribble the time off the clock.
Yeah.
Jansen Flood's going to go to the line. And fouling out of the ball game for Nelson County was 24. Austin Willett, he had a great game for Nelson County.
Yeah, he sure did. Here again, coming down the stretch, I think Etown's going to hit these free throws. I just have a feeling.
In and out. There's a senior for you. See, you highlighted Jansen Flood, and what's he do? Flood back at the line for the second. And he makes that one. So he makes good on the second one.
They've rarely hit both free throws when they step up there. I think I know what Coach Hare's going to be working on next few practices.
Well, you know, they say that about the Kentucky Wildcats, too, but Kentucky has started to become a little bit better free throw shooting team over the last 4 or 5 games. I think in the game against Lamar last night, I think they were 14 out of 17 from the line, I believe.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Tipped away and out of bounds. It's going to go over to Etown. 2:09 left to go in the ball game. Panthers are in command in this game, 67-52. Here's Lucas over to Flood. McDonald has it for the Panthers. Throws it to Nejdawi. Nejdawi kicks it back out. They're going to just be content to run clock, aren't they, Steve?
Yeah, I think so. They're going to take a little air out of the ball and don't get too crazy.
McDonald went in with trying to get the layup off the glass, and Land, I guess, a little bit of frustration on Land's part, jacked it back out. So the foul is on Land, and McDonald's at the line.
I thought that was Land's 5th.
Well, they have it posted on the scoreboard as number 11.
Oh.
So Land did come out of the ball game, but he did not get assessed the foul.
And Nick missed the first free throw and hits the second one.
So Nick McDonald steps up and cannot make a pair, but he makes his second. Long three-pointer by Morganson is no good. And Nejdawi leads the break for the Panthers.
He needs to give it up.
And he gave it up.
He a little lackadaisical on that pass.
So on the exchange, McDonald gets his foul. That's going to be number 3 on Nick.
You know, Gary, one thing you got to say about these Etown kids, you know, Coach Hare mentioned it in his pregame interview. They do give you 110% effort. Their defense is still got some work, but they hustle, get after you, and I think that's going to be a key to them, especially if they can get their press down, their half-court trap. They've got some quickness. Defense is going to play a big role in them going very far at the end of this year.
McDonald's got his hand on it, down to 1:12 left to go in the ball game. Let's talk a little bit about this Etown team. This is going to put Etown at 7-4 on the season, Steve. This is a team last year that had some senior leadership, had one of the best players in the 5th region, and went to the championship game of the 5th region tournament. This year, not expecting as much, but they had good 8th grade team last year. So here they are tonight, and they're going to go 7-4.
Yeah, I think Coach Harris probably pretty happy to be sitting at 7-4 right now. He's got a young team. Now they do have a couple sophomores that have got a little bit of varsity experience, but overall it's a young team. But somehow Coach Harris always gets them to overachieve. He gets them to improve over the year, and by tournament time, his teams are pretty dangerous.
Well, here's something to consider. In the 5th region right now, there are 3 teams with 9 wins. Bardstown Bethlehem has the best record in the region. LaRue County and Marion County both have 9 wins. However, here's Etown coming up with only 3 seniors on the team, going 7-4 as Lucas has it back out to Flood. They're running clock. Down in the corner to Williams. He'll throw it back out to Lucas. And it's going to be a foul on Nelson County. So the foul's on 32, Bradley Jarridge. So Nelson County is going to bring some of the younger players in the ball game. Nick McDonald's at the line for the Panthers. Next week will be a test, and I'll tell you why. Fort Knox at Fort Knox. Don't know that they've improved so much over the last 2 or 3 seasons. Kip Rambo has not had a lot of success up at Fort Knox. However, if you look at Central Hardin, they've been a much improved team this year. Gave Etown all they wanted at Central Hardin. Fortunately, that game will be played in Charles Rollins Memorial Gymnasium.
Yeah, you never know what Fort Knox is going to have with the kids that transfer in and out. It's hard to get any continuity there, but you never know if they're going to have a kid or two that's really got a lot of talent and that can carry them.
Nelson County scores. 25 seconds left to go in the ball game, and the clock's running. Etown leads at 71-56. Here's McDonald. Back over to Williams. And Williams is going to be content to run the clock down. 6 seconds. 4 seconds. And Etown's Panthers are going to take this one home. 71-56 over Nelson County. And Steve, I can't say that this was an exciting ball game, but what was exciting was seeing how well Etown handled some early adversity and came back to win the ball game.
That's right, Gary. They really showed what they're made out of and stayed with it and played hard and came out on top.
We are KSBN, and this is our inaugural ball game. We're taping this ball game, and soon we're going to be broadcasting these via live streaming. You can visit us anytime you wish. And, Steve, you want to give the website, or do you want me to?
I'll give it. It's kysportsbn.com.
See, I would have forgotten that all of a sudden. No, I'm just kidding you.
Well, I've enjoyed it, Gary.
I enjoyed the ball game, too. This is our first ball game. We will be back soon because we're still working out the schedule. But I can assure you that we're going to have plenty of Panther ball games for the men's program, the women's program, and we look forward to it. So we'll see you on the Glory Road. I'm Gary Franklin for Steve Ballard saying good night and have a safe trip from KSBN.